What is a foundation to a man's life? Lately, I've been thinking about how we as a society define what we think of success. And nowadays, so many young men are lost and looking for these role models to help them figure out how to get through life. And the most prominent example I can think of currently is Andrew Tate. I guess he's died out of the trend, but for a while he was, really up there. Or maybe I'm just not in that echo chamber anymore of, I don't know what you call red pill masculinity. But there's so many directions that these gurus take. It's confusing for men because these men, a lot of these young men will start looking towards someone like Tate and gravitate towards him because he is he's convinced them that he is the ideal of success, that they will never be, but that they should strive to be, and that until they're like them, they're losers. That's kind of what Tate has manipulated these young guys into thinking. Now, I want to take a different approach. I think Tate's style, his philosophy towards life, a lot of it is true, but is also extremely, I would even say, toxic. I think a lot of the shit he believes is toxic because there's a partial truth in what he says, but there's also a arrogance and lack of empathy that I think leads young men, impressionable, easily convinced young men, down the wrong path in their relationship towards women and their relationship towards world. It's this kind of relationship where it's all about conquering, conquering women, conquering the world, making them yours, that kind of mentality. While I do believe a man's purpose is to show the world what he's got, I believe a man does that best by serving the world, by serving women. Because from a state of conquering is a highly egotistical state. And this is the state from which dictators, people who started global wars, people who are power hungry, people who want power, this mindset of conquering is exactly that which gives rise to more suffering and more pain in the world. I don't believe that is the correct way that a man can form his highest ideal of a vision. I believe it's something more like serving the world, because there is something far higher than a man's own ego. And until he discovers that, until he's humbled by that, he will stay a little boy in that sense, of throwing a temper tantrum when he doesn't get what he wants, starting wars, all the shit that broken men do. When a man is not in tune with his true masculinity, with being grounded inside his spirit, he exercises power and tries to conquer. He tries to conquer nature. He tries to conquer women. He tries to conquer countries. All because he feels a deep lack inside of who he really is. And he wants to feel that power. And he wants to feel it by exercising his righteousness of conquering. But when you feel that power you have within, in the realest sense, you don't look to conquer things. Instead, you're inspired. You're inspired by women. You see that women give life, and that life would be quite meaningless for a man on this earth without women. Women are constantly inspiring men, and the most common form of that is sexual inspiration. You might just call that lust. So many dudes nowadays are so stuck in the base desires of lust. They have not transcended and transmuted that base energy into something greater, into a greater creative force. And tapping into that creative force is how a man comes to his shine. You know, in our society, it's so, this culture of propagating this sexual success for a man, let's say, how many attractive women he can sleep with, is completely superficial and meaningless. And I would say it's something that young men without purpose flock to. Because if you truly had purpose, those games are meaningless. You'd be devoted to serving a higher cause and committing to a woman, committing to the practice of love, committing to the practice of creativity, waking up every day consciously and choosing how you want to create your day, how you want to create your next week, how you want to create your next month, how you want to create your next year, how you want to create your next decade, how you want to create your life. That's all creativity is. To me, it's not about this, art. Creativity is not about making art or making music anymore to me. All creativity is consciously choosing how you want to create your life and what kind of reality you're striving towards for yourself, for everyone around you. I'll leave off with this final thought. It's hard to find purpose because you're not sure about it. And when you're not sure about it, you go on from one YouTube video to the next, one teacher to the next, one coach to the next, one guru to the next, one influencer to the next. You listen to what they say because they're so confident in what they believe that you start to believe them too. And in that sense, you're under their hypnosis, you're under their control. The ideas of how to operate your life aren't yours, it's theirs. And until you realize that, you will be ideologically a slave to those ideas. And until you can realize that, then you can break out of them and decide you are the masculine force. You possess that. You possess the masculine power of certainty, of decisiveness, of conviction, of believing in your own vision and believing in your own philosophy towards life. And I can't quite tell you what that is, but through my own videos, you can probably get a sense of what mine is. And I'm not telling you to follow them. I'm telling you to question everything you know about life and to come up with your own way of doing it. Because that is the only hallmark of spiritual freedom. It's your authenticity in being who you're meant to be. But before you can do that, you have to define it. Thanks for watching this one. More videos coming. Stay tuned. Like the video. See you in the next one.